Hello and welcome to Practical Python, where we will be learning how to do some practical things in Python. This will be part of a series on the ETL. That would be the extraction, transformation, and loading of data. So we will be getting started here. Let's get started by first downloading Python. So let's go to Python. It's going to be probably python.org. And when you know what it is, this is their getting started page, but we can click on Python, downloads, and download Python 3.12.1. We'll just take whatever the latest version is, so whatever appears in here. Make sure you, of course, you pick for your operating system that you need. Download that. And I already got mine installed, but I think you can figure out how to go through a wizard. But there might be a few settings here that are important. So let's go ahead and make sure we click Add Python to Path. Use admin privileges when installing Python. I generally like that. Let me look at the customize if there's anything we need to check. So basically, if you have multiple users, this is where it would be if you want to only install it for you or for everyone on the computer. So this is where you could make that distinction there. Install for all users, yeah. So it looks to me, and it doesn't really matter that's fine. So I think what you could do here is just go ahead and do, make sure you check Add Python to Path, and then hit Install Now, and then just Next all the way through. You don't necessarily need to change where it installs, unless that's something you want to do. But there we go, we got that installed. The other thing you'll want is an IDE. There are a couple of options here. The first I would recommend is PyCharm. It is a not lightweight IDE. It's a very heavyweight one. I prefer it. It is, I pay for some of their more integrated things, and I get all of their JetBrains tools here, so I have access to all of them. I use Rider for my game development, and Goland for when I'm feeling, like I really need to get back into Go for whatever reason. But PyCharm Professional is their paid one. They also I think they have a PyCharm community. There it is down there. There's no need to obviously pay for it. PyCharm community is certainly fine, and you can hit download here and get. This is their professional. There has to be I'll include a link here. It is down here. Here it is. Get the professional, or just kind of no pictures for you. And of course, you can pick which architecture you're on. ARM would be for not what you need. Just grab the exe. For the most part, most of you are not on the ARM architecture, so go ahead and click download there. I'll have the link in the description of the video, and possibly in my my class here. In fact, let me go ahead while I'm thinking about it. Just we'll copy it down so I don't forget. And here's the link to Python. Add that as well. Okay, so we've got all the things downloaded. You're ready to go. Let's come up with a first little project here. We'll go to File, New Project, and we'll just go ahead and do pure Python. Something I like to do, I like to have a folder where I keep all of my projects, usually in CDev. So to accomplish that, if you want to follow along, we'll just open up, let's do it through GUI. We'll grab a file explorer, fresh file explorer here, go to C:, right click, do new folder, and then you'll have dev. That's where I like to keep all of my stuff. And in there, you can either, make a new one for Python, do whatever makes the most sense for you. So we're going to go ahead and create a new project here. Just a little bit to know what some of this other stuff is that we won't be doing. Scientific would be for more data stuff, things like NumPy, etc. I actually have no idea what Pyramid is. I've never used that one, so I can't speak to that one. Google App Engine, you're going to be specifically working on something in the Google App Engine. Django, Fast API, Flask, these are going to be web frameworks. If you want to make a backend for a website, these three are some pretty good choices. There's another one called Bottle that is not here. Bottle's very, very lightweight. Flask is kind of in the middle ground there. Django is very, very opinionated, and if you're a beginner, is actually really great for coming up if you want to make a website. It's pretty good. This other stuff down here is usually for web front ends. like all of them are. In fact, except for this is a backend. I don't really know. They're not really Python specific. And again, I'm using the paid version, so I don't know if they're going to show up down here. But we're going to stick with plain Python, pure old Python here. Again, I don't know if all of these will show up in the community edition, but this one for sure will. And we'll call this Hello World. You can name it whatever you'd like. I'm putting it, make sure you change your location to where you want it. Create a Git repo. That is if we're going to be pushing to Git, which we won't be doing today, but we can obviously learn that. Create a main Py welcome script. We'll leave it unchecked for now. Python version. If you have multiple Python versions installed, it looks like also you do not necessarily have to install it. You can actually you just pick one and it'll download it, install it for you. But you can, if you have multiple versions installed, you can select here. The interpreter type. So this type of stuff, something that's interesting, if you have multiple projects that's running, and you want the packages from one not to kind of interfere with the packages for another, where maybe you have specific versions for this project and you don't want that to ruin the versions you have over here for this project, you can use something which is called a virtual environment right here, the VM. Conda will accomplish some of the same things. I don't think I have that installed. You can kind of do some custom settings here, but we'll just leave it as project VM, which is basically saying, hey, set up a virtual environment for this specific project. And we'll go ahead and click create, and I'm going to go ahead and do this window so I can replace what I have here. So here's my Hello World project. Here it goes. You get this warning down here that says Microsoft Defender configuration. The IDE has detected blah, 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 blah. You can just automatically and then let that do that. It's just going to let it trust the project. If this is a project you've made, there's no reason to not let it. I think also like, oh, yeah. So it's not going to scan this and say, oh, you have malicious code. You know, obviously, if you're developing malware, very important. But anyway, so we're going to go here. That's a joke. Don't develop malware. We're going to do a new file or a new Python file. If you do a new file, just make sure you name it with a .py, and we will call this hello. Let's go with hello_world. I didn't add the .py because I said new Python file. It'll automatically add that. All right, and for Python to do a new Hello World project, a new Hello World thing, it's just very simple. Print. And what's great is how the IDE works. IDE, Integrated Development Environment. How it works is it will show you what your, some options. And here's some options there. Before I had P, and there was saying POW, right? That's for like a power thing. So it's kind of helping you figure out what you want to type. And in fact, I think I might have some sort of automatic like coding thing plugged in here, and it's really trying to help me out with Hello World like that. When you get this little grayed out words, if you want that, tab to complete, and you can actually change that. I like tab. The other thing is if you want to you can hit down here to select that and hit enter, and that will kind of do the what you've highlighted without doing all of the rest of the autocomplete there. And this is giving you a little helper to let you know, hey, what you should put in there. There's other things you can put in, but we'll just go ahead and just put a string in and say, we'll just type in hello world. Python's interesting. So if you've ever done any coding, sometimes, the codings want, or some languages want you to end with like a semicolon or something like that. We don't have to do that in Python. So I'm just it says it wants me to do, forget that. It wants me to do a new line at the end. That's something that just stylistically they want. So we'll go ahead and do that. And let me go ahead and put play up here. And if we look down here, we see this hello world printed up. And that's the very basics of Python hello world project that we have going on here. We'll do something a little more interesting next time, but this is just to make sure that we are able to get Python up and running. Now there's a couple other options as well. Let me see if I have VS Code installed. I do. If you want something a little more lightweight, let me see if I can, hold on. I went on my second monitor here, so it's giving me some issues. If you want something a little more lightweight, like this is the heaviest weight IDE, one of the heavier ones, and I like it. It gives a lot of stuff, but this is a more lightweight one. We can go ahead and just do a new file here. We can do select a language, sure. We'll type Python, there it is. So now it'll give us the correct syntax highlighting. You can go print hello world. Now, what I'm about to show you, oh, I got to save it. All right, I don't feel like saving it right now. Unless it's going to make me. This will only work if you, I think it's Control J to pull up the terminal here. You want to make sure you have terminal selected here. This will only work if you've installed Python and added it to the path. In fact, I will have to save this. Let me go ahead and save this file real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this under, go to my C dev folder here. And I'm going to just put it in the same, I'm going to put it in the same one that I was just in, hello world, and we'll call it VS Code. Hello world underscore code. That's what we'll call it. Cool. So yeah, we can do that later. So let me go cd dev cd hello world. Autocomplete will work if you hit tab here. So for example, if I'm still back here, cd hel tab hello world, perfect. In Windows, we're in PowerShell. You have two options here. You can go dir or ls. It'll do the same thing. And I can see the two different Python scripts that I have there. So yeah, we're doing a little bit of the terminal stuff that would be helpful to know. But we can go Python and then HW tab, and then here we go. And let's do a differentiator here. Hello world from VS Code, and we'll see this little dot here means I haven't saved it. So if I run it, it'll be the exact same thing. So if you ever run into something, hey, it's not working, make sure you go back and save. And there goes hello from VS Code. So this is a little more lightweight if you want to run something not as heavy or you want to, for whatever reason you like that better. That's another option as well. And you can even in VS Code, you can open up the folder just like I have over here. So it's not a big deal, but that'll do it for the first little bit here, making sure we have Python installed, and then we will move on to the next lesson where we actually do something fairly useful. But we'll see you there.